I'm coming, Corey.
That's
You are
good.
surrounded.
Glimpse on me. They're alright. They're about to res glitch.
All right.
Look out.
Gotcha.
I sprained my ankle.
Lethal out. All opponents eliminated.
Yeah, you're not invisible when you're in fire, you dummy. What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with some Ronin gameplay, and today we're going to be talking about armor. Should armor in Rogue Company be changed around just a little bit? Let's head over and check it out. So we are back once again on the Rogue Company wiki page. If you haven't checked the Rogue Company wiki page out, I encourage everyone to do so. So right now, armor is a perk in the game, right? And currently there's 3 different versions of armor. So you have the rare version that gives you 25 armor, the epic version gives you 50 armor, and the legendary version gives you 75 armor. So I know there's a ton of people out there that think that armor is something that is very beneficial to the game and they like the way that the armor system is in the game currently. Then there's a lot of people out there that really dislike the way the armor is in the game and they wish that it would be changed up just a little bit. So I'm going to offer a middle ground suggestion here. So we currently have the speed and toughness system in the game. So the toughness system negates damage that you take from all sources by X amount of percentage based on the pips that rogue actually has on their toughness scale, right? So why can't we replace the toughness scale, put all the rogues back on baseline damage reduction, and recalculate that format into natural armor that those rogues currently have? So in the game right now, you can't currently repair your armor. Way back in the day, in the time before, you only had access to 25 armor, but you also had the ability to repair said armor until Mac was introduced into the game. And then whenever the perks got reworked, then a lot of other things happen that give you higher levels of armor, but no way to repair that. So my suggestion is remove the armor perk altogether. And I know last week we talked about removing a ton of perks and also a lot of perks that are essentially the same, which I did bring to the developers' attention, by the way, and they are looking into that. So we'll see if that gains any traction whatsoever. But let's just exit the armor perk completely out of the game and let's work the toughness system into an armor system to where a rogue that has 5 pips of toughness would essentially have X amount of armor at the end of the day. And you would have a baseline set of armor all across the board, depending on the pips that they have. So the max that you would actually have would be legendary armor, and then it would scale down from there. And you could actually go in and tweak some of the armor values that you currently have. And if they extended it to, let's say, 5 different levels of armor, then you could really go in there and fine tune the armor system to where, okay, they negate just a little bit of damage. So armor would essentially be free HP at that point. So they negate a little bit of damage with their armor until they get to their baseline HP. Then you could develop other newer perks to put into the game that allows you different ways to interact with your armor. For example, maybe the ability to repair your armor in stages. So if we leave it where it's currently at 25, 50, and 75, maybe every 5 seconds that you have free, you can repair 1 pip of that armor. So if you want to regain 75 armor, it's going to take you 15 total seconds of armor repair in order to get that full 75 armor back. Or they could add other perks into the game to where whenever you down someone and thirst them, then they drop their armor on the ground and you can run over and pick their armor up and basically do armor swaps, kind of like what they do in Apex, that allows you to not really slow your momentum by stopping and being able to repair your armor, but you have to go out of your way to do something in order to gain that armor back. Also, with a system like this, it would at baseline would increase most rogues' HP from 100 up to whatever it would be with that specific armor on their character, which in turn would bring the TTK of the game down slightly, just bring it down slightly and put it in a better spot, in my opinion. I think that this would be a superior way to handle the armor in the game. That way, all rogues are associated with a specific amount of armor right out of the gate, and then the only way that they can interact with the armor that they currently have, or armor that they could pick up off of the ground, would be invest their economy into perks that allow them to do something very similar with that. That is just where I stand with the armor system. I like the toughness system a lot, and I don't have any problems with the toughness system. I like the armor system that's in the game currently, and I don't have a problem with that armor system. But what if we kind of combine the two into one and streamline things just a little bit to make it a little bit more of a efficient ecosystem, where you don't have all these extreme variables that are currently in the game, where, well, you have toughness and then you also have armor and then you also have this and you also have that. I think that if they work the armor into the toughness system and put everybody at a baseline toughness, then it would feel a little bit more rewarding and beneficial whenever you're in gunfights, because you don't have to account for that extra bullet resistance or damage resistance that this specific rogue has. It would balance out some of the more tankier rogues like Trench and Anvil and Cannon, Mac, that have access to these higher tiers of toughness on top of having access to very high tiers of armor. It would help balance that stuff out quite a bit. And I know what a lot of people's thinking, well, what about in ranked? What about whenever you have a pistol round in ranked and everybody is running around with pistols and they're already going to have armor at their baseline? And I agree with that. And that is where you have things in the game like shredder rounds. You have things in the game like headshots that tick away at that armor ever so slightly. You also have Rogue in the game now with a passive ability that negates that armor completely with Fixer. So you have ways to work around these systems. If they go with a very, very heavily armored team like a Anvil, a Trench, a Mac, and a Dahlia, then you have counters for that. It is going to be a little bit more of a, the team that has that very high armor stack early game, right? Early game is going to be on top for the first round or two. But once you start buying weapons, once you start buying gadgets and things like that and bringing those into the gunfights, then it's going to smooth itself out to where the team that prioritizes other rogues that have maybe a little bit more extreme or explosive type abilities are going to gain the benefits in the long run. So it's a chess match. Do you sacrifice the first round or two in order to be stronger in game, or do you jump straight in with both feet, get both of those heavy armor values right out of the gate, and then run it and try to keep that momentum going through the rest of the game? I think that an armor system like this would be very beneficial in so many different ways, and I think that it would streamline everything back to where you would get rid of your squishier rogues. You would be able to, they would be viable in all situations at that point because they wouldn't be anywhere near squishy. And then, of course, all the perks would have to be redistributed to some of these rogues so that they would not feel completely broken or overpowered because they're not as squishy as they were before. But I think it would put the game in a better spot, and I think that it would feel really, really good to have a system like this and to play a game like this. But be sure to let me know what you think in the comments. Is this something that interests you? I'm just trying to gauge, general response to something like this, because I do want to take this idea over to the developers and see what they think about it. So I need your feedback before I do that. So please be sure to let me know in the comments what you think. Also, be sure to check that description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. Lastly, on Thursdays from 8 until 11 p.m. Central Time, Sundays from 10 a.m. until we get tired, I will be streaming here on YouTube. So if you're interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. Thanks for watching, guys.
How much? How y'all doing?
Pretty good, just... doing the thing and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we might be.